Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to talk about this book, Kracher Colonel, written by Jaman. It's a book about a colonel whose name is Tahir, who was a retired officer and who was also, a martyr also, in a sense that he was hanged. So his life or his biography is really interesting, and this book is a historical fiction. So through this book, you will get to know about his life, his struggles, how he was trying to build his ideology, and how through his ideology he was trying to serve his country. So I want to review this book critically. So if I start from the beginning, it will start how the writer was trying to convey his message, that how he's starting the entire book. So in the first sentence, he mentions that he's going to talk about, or he's going to tell a really good story and a really interesting story about a man who was amazed, or who was affected by magics in a way that he had some amazing ideas. At the same time, the experience or the life of him was quite interesting and mixed with lots of struggles. So in the very beginning, we get to know that the authorial voice is predominant in this novel. So while you are reading this novel, you will get to know many subjective ideas of the author Jaman. At the same time, you will be really glad to read how he managed to pace this novel. And for me, it was really comfortable because, obviously, I'm a Bengali reader, so it is comfortable for me to read Bangla books. At the same time, while I was reading it, when I noticed that the story started with his wife's point of view, who was Lutfa. So from Lutfa's point of view, I learned that how he managed the first impression of Colonel Tahir. So Colonel Tahir, when we saw him, or we see him in the narration, we see that he was firing in the air without any purpose. So he was trying to assert his male dominance or male power. So we see a glimpse of a man who is really strong in his sense, and also he has some sort of a good pride. So this pride will help him to make an image in the reader's mind, and we replace Lutfa, and the readers get to know him more closely. So when Lutfa comes to this new family of Tahir, she gets to know the idea of socialism, and through this, the writer tries to teach us the basic components or concepts of socialism. And it was also really interesting because somehow Jaman, the writer, tried to structure this novel in a research work. So what happens in research work, that we read, we write the abstract part. So in the abstract part, we see what is this about? And we, at the very first 2 pages of this novel, get to know what is this novel about. And the pessimistic tone we can get from those first 2 pages, where we see the words like suicide or hang or killing. So we see that the novel will be tragic in a sense. Anyway, coming to the point, what happens that after the abstract, we see some sort of introduction, and we see the theoretical framework. So there are some series of socialism, and we see about Lenin, and we learn about Lenin at sometimes, and Khudiram also. At the same time, it's also interesting in a way that we learn about Communist Manifesto. So in a way, Jaman is cleverly trying to suggest some books to read about communism, because those ideas are also interesting. And as a person, you need to learn more about different ideologies, different ideas. So through this, the writer give us some preparation about reading this novel, and how we will approach the life of Colonel Tahir, because Colonel Tahir, he was a believer of socialism, and he was trying to establish the socialist idea in Bangladesh after 1971 especially. So when he came to Pakistan as Pakistan Army, he had that pride that he will show that his caliber as a Bengali. So when he saw the videos of Vietnam War, how American soldiers tried or climbed up on a wall through a bamboo. So we have bamboo. So he took this idea and tried to implement in the army, and he managed to do that. But Pakistani armies didn't manage to do that. So it is, in a sense, it creates a sort of pride or sort of good image of Colonel Tahir's image in reader's mind. Anyway, coming back to the point again. So this image gives us the idea that we are really proud of him, and we are seeing him as a larger than life hero. So when the liberation war started, he was in Pakistan, but he somehow fled from Pakistan to Bangladesh. So that fleeing part is also interesting because it's adventurous. And there was two cardigan of his wife, which his wife was really fond of, but he had to left it. And these cardigans, I feel like this is a symbol, that is the symbol of Pakistan, because he had to left the earnings that he earned from Pakistan government. So he left this on a dark field because he had to carry his fellow mate Manzoor's wife. So while he was carrying Manzoor's wife, he had to left those things. So in a way, it suggests that this is a symbol where he left the Pakistan, and he take the burden of another person's wife. So this is in a sense that he was really responsible, and he will take every sort of responsibilities to manage to go to Bangladesh and also to improve or develop Bangladesh. Anyway, after or during the liberation war, we saw his war strategies. Especially, he was trying to make some guerrilla wars, and which was also very encouraging, because he was trying to make this war more broader, because he was not okay with confining this war into only army based zone, because he was trying to tell everyone that no, we have to make this war available for everyone, because this is a freedom war, and everyone in this country must, or who wants to join the war, should join the war and also be a part of it. So, and he had some connection, or he was trying to build some connection with warlords, and he was trying to remove the influence of India, because he was trying to get into the country, his country, to fight the liberation war. So lots of things happen, and he lost his leg, which is really tragic, and you will get to know by reading these books, and there are really interesting missions. So if you read this book, you'll get to know about it, and I don't want to spoil it for you. Anyway, then what happened after the liberation war? There were some really bad corruptions, and Bangladesh had to go through some really tragic incidents. So he tried to make a revolution, but a revolution is not an easy task. Ultimately, he failed, and he was hanged by Zia Rahman, then the chief staff of army. Perhaps this was tragic in a sense that it was him, I mean, this was Colonel Tahir, who saved Zia from imprisonment. But at the same time, after a few days, Zia captured Tahir and put him in jail, and finally hanged him. So this is really tragic in a sense that he believed in Zia, but Zia betrayed him. So this is somewhat we connect with him. So ultimately, what happens that throughout the entire narration, we developed and we get more connected with the character Tahir, but ultimately, his sad demise makes us feel really numb, and this tragic ending does not make us feel really great. But at the same time, there are lots of learnings from his revolutionary ideas. I'm not trying to preach his ideas, but we can get to know about his ideas on how he was trying to improve Bangladesh, and how he had that good intention to develop Bangladesh. So we need to learn more about him, and also the other soldiers whose name is not in the history, because their sacrifice means a lot to us. And if we try to build a nation which is really improving, in a sense that it is improving in a way in different areas, we need to read more books like this, the historical fiction or literal history, to make us history consciousness, and to make a concrete image or identity of the nation, and then we can proceed further. So I hope you will love reading this book. So thank you. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.